So yesterday I pulled into the Landing Point RV Park in Cape Girardeau, and it's a really nice park, about the same price as a KOA, but nice flat concrete pads, pull-throughs, just really nice, and super nice people at the office. This funky shadow on my face. But anywho, and so today I am headed to New Madrid, Missouri. Um, New Madrid is quite well known for the large earthquake that happened, I want to say in the 1800s. I'll know more when I get there. And anywho, I remember as a child hearing about it in history class, and it was like it made the Mississippi run backwards. So, anywho, and I've never been there. It's like the opposite side of the state, and it's way down in the Boot Heel, and so we just never went there as a kid. So I kind of wanted to go by there, and coming back from Memphis, I just decided to stop here in Cape Girardeau and go take a look. So we'll go see what's happening. So I am at the museum parking for the New Madrid Historical Museum, which has all the information about the earthquake. And then over here, we'll take a look. We'll take a walk in a bit. There's an overlook on the Mississippi River. So, but I always love this sign. It's our fault. This is kind of cool too. This is part of the Great River Road, which someday I'm going to take. This is the road that sort of inspired me to get into traveling full time. I was coming down from a friend's in Minnesota, and I decided to follow the river road down to about the middle part of Iowa there, and then I went inward. But as you can see, there's Missouri, and that's probably why the river road is such a big part of my concepts. So, my travel ideas. So anyway, it's the Great River Road, Canada to Quebec Golf. Countries of the Great River Road. I really like this map too. I'll have to hang on to this for that trip. This is cool too. They have cotton in this planter outside. Cotton's a big part of this area. We're really close to Arkansas, so I've always wanted to see what that felt like. Oh, it's so soft. Feels like cotton. But anywho, so that's kind of cool. So he said that video was allowed here, so I'm going to do that. What was really cool is I had just watched two videos. One was on the quake, and then the second one was just on the history of this area, which is very interesting. So this is the New Madrid Historical Society, as well as having information about the quake. So this New Madrid is one of the oldest communities west of the Mississippi River. Of course, it's not that far west of the Mississippi River. So, of course, Mississippi Indian culture. Now, this was in the video they were talking about this particular body that was found, and this mace was found with it, so they believe it was a priest of some sort. part of that culture. Very interesting. I think we have to remember that American history didn't start with the colonists. It started way before then. We have a very long history if we stop and think about it. Yeah, the Cahokia Mounds is an area I need to go to. I've been to some mounds, but I can't remember. I don't think they were the Cahokia Mounds. There's some mounds not far from town, they said in the video. A lot of artifacts found through here. Very interesting. Madrid, of course, is named for Madrid, Spain. The Spanish were here. The British did not plant a flag here until after the Louisiana Purchase. But you can see here that this standard was unearthed south of New Madrid. It's believed to be from the time period of De Soto's expedition. That's kind of cool. Map of New Madrid. I was hearing that that was the fort that was built here originally. This is an 1810 map of New Madrid. After the fort was torn down. And then not too far from here is the Trail of Tears State Park. And this area was part of that Trail of Tears, this removal of the Cherokees to Indian territory. Absolutely horrific. In 1838, more than 15,000 Cherokee began their trek west to Indian territory. The 1830 Indian Removal Act. More than 1,000 died during the journey. So, I guess I didn't realize that they had taken some by steamboat to relocate them. That's really sad. And then this is the part about the Great Quakes, 1811, 1812. It's December 16th of 1811 is when it sort of started, began. And then they continued through until March of 1812. Five major quakes in 3 months. Wow. It endured 5 magnitude 8 earthquakes during that winter, 1811 to 1812. So I'm not going to get all of this because I want to enjoy it as well. And you need to come down and visit yourself. Like I said, it's way down here in the Boot Hill, but if you're ever going to Memphis, it's right on the way. So, the Magic Seismic Zone is 150 miles through 5 states. This is pretty interesting. This is one of the Indian skeletons, and it notes that since it predated the quake, that when the quake happened, it severed the skeleton or the sand fissures from the earthquake. That's pretty cool. I'm just giving a look at the room because I want to take this one apart. This guy's talking. This is kind of interesting. This is watch earthquakes as they happen all over the world, and this is different places. And then they have a legend somewhere. It'll pop up here in a minute that shows you the colors, meaning like last 5 years, last year, last month. So, kind of hard to read there. Most of them are in the last 5 years. And this changes. This is so you can see it changes to different regions. This is China, Alaska, South America, a bunch of different ones. So it's kind of interesting. Whole history of plate tectonics. Found this information a little technical for me, but pretty interesting. Now this is kind of cool. So this is kind of interesting because Frank Lloyd Wright designed this building, the Imperial Hotel in Japan. And during the earthquake, he used interlocking notched wooden beams. And then this inspired his son to create Lincoln Logs. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool. But Lincoln Logs is not named after Abraham Lincoln. It's named after Frank Lincoln Wright Lloyd. Did not know that. Pretty cool. And this is pretty interesting. I remember this very well. So in 1990, this guy predicted that there was going to be a major earthquake on the New Madrid Fault in December of that year. And we all prepared for it. And it was sort of a joke, but at the same time, we thought, okay, because I guess apparently this guy also predicted that an earthquake in California, and it happened. And so there was sort of like nobody wanted to believe it, but we wanted to be prepared. But in the end, it didn't happen. But so that was kind of cool. I remember that really well. This is just, how to protect yourself during an earthquake. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. In the video, they were talking about how the Civil War up here in New Madrid, and there was something called Island 10, and this is where the Confederates had captured it, and they sort of had control of the channel there. So they built a canal across from the other side so that they could capture the Union could take the island. So that was pretty cool. So that was all interesting. Well, then I was reading this where it says that island number 10, after the capture by the Union troops, after the war and everything, that it slowly like disappeared, but then reformed on the Missouri side, and then eventually, to keep the channel open, the Corps of Engineers did a lot of dredging, and the island disappeared and wasn't allowed to reform. So that's pretty interesting. So if you want to look for number 10 as island number 10, part of your Civil War history, you're not going to get to because it's gone. This is information, some interesting information about the swamp fox of the Confederacy. They called him that because the guerrilla warfare down here was in a swampy area of southeast Missouri. What was interesting is that he was originally from Virginia, from Virginia, and then he moved to St. Joseph, Missouri, and joined the state militia here. And then, so in the Civil War, he was part of the Missouri State Guard, and got involved in the Civil War, and which became known as the swamp fox because of his efforts here in southeast Missouri. Now, this is kind of funny. I had to show you this. This is a cannon and some cannonballs, and this is really funny. It says, "Do not touch the cannonballs. You'll throw your back out, and we will not be held responsible." So anyway, then it starts talking about steamboats. So there's a lot of Civil War and steamboat information down here. Lots of artifacts. Interesting. This is interesting. This was they're searching for the wreck of the Winchester, which was a Confederate boat that ship that sunk at Island 10. That's kind of interesting. And we move from the Civil War to more recent wars. Celebrate the veterans there. Industry down here. Logging was pretty big for a while. And then King Cotton. Video also talks about a lot of floods. They had a lot of flooding down here. A lot of 1912. And then one 1913. Eventually they raised the levee to the levee, or to the level that it is now, and so we don't have as many floods, I don't think, anymore. When you see how close we are to the river, you would not be surprised. Also have some stuff up here in the next floor. Like sort of home life here in New Madrid. This is kind of cool. This was a quilt that was made in 1982. It's just different, things about New Madrid, and it was raffled off at a Civil War reenactment in 1982. Band. Oh, this is cool. Victrola. These things always freak me out. They're hair wreaths. The hair from this. Take hair from deceased person and create something creative out of it. I always think they kind of freak me out. It says women's winter or everyday boots, worn 1917 to 18. Oh my god, those are tiny. I don't think I'd wear those in the wintertime. There are chamber pots. And all these quilts. My mom used to make quilts, and this looks like my mom's quilt. They're very popular antiques in many homes. Mama had one like that. I mean, it wasn't the one she used. She had a Singer sewing machine. But I remember seeing one like this. It was just more for decorative pieces. I don't know where it went, but that's okay. So this is a really cool mural on the side of the historical museum. Those are good. That was a really interesting museum. Noise Carrie's in there, and I mean, there was like two other groups came in after me. So this is New Madrid. Park over there. And then I'm walking up to the levee. Okay, so I'm walking up here up the hill to Down there you can see is the museum in the New Madrid area. And then right across the road here is the river, Mississippi River. First American town in Missouri, founded in 1789. It's called the English word Cove of Fat. That's pretty funny. See a barge there on the river. That's another one. Walk up there so we can see it. Okay, my mic needs to be charged, so I just have to do the set mic. I'm walking up here to this look out here on the Mississippi River because I wanted to show you this barge. Storyboard just talks about that New Madrid and island number 10. Again, that part of the Civil War. New Madrid was Confederacy. New Madrid favored the Confederacy, and that Missouri stayed in the Union. My ancestor was in the Union Army. Just out of Jefferson City, Homeward. Later Captain Matthias Stieferman on my mom's side. So anyway, this walk out here was really nice, kind of fun. Down there you can see all of the different barges. Very busy river. See how high the I had to come down and get a picture of this old movie theater. I just love this. Say 1920s, 30s. You see the Art Deco. Pretty cool. Just down from the museum.